New genres and categories in literature and storytelling are awesome, and we have a new one creeping up on us right now. It's called New Adult, and today, we're going to find out exactly what it is and why you should pay attention as a writer. New Adult is a category of storytelling that is currently emerging on the literary landscape. Essentially, New Adult is fiction made for an audience between the ages of 18 to 30, focusing on protagonists or characters of a similar age, dealing with age-appropriate situations. People dealing with leaving home or entering college for the first time, people dealing with their first serious long-term relationships, including marriage and sex, and also tonal differences, dealing with more mature subject material and situations from the perspective of someone who is still largely naive, innocent, and otherwise inexperienced, but who has more agency in their own life than the average teen. It should also be mentioned, just like young adult fiction, new adult fiction is not limited by genre. New adult is more like the framing. Any genre that can work with the framing will work with the framing. Fantasy, sci-fi, paranormal, you name it. Any genre works with the new adult. But that topic is really deep. For now, we're just going to stick with the basics. A frequent criticism of new adult, which we'll talk about more in depth later, is, why does this even exist? We have young adult, which deals with teenagers, and we have real adult fiction, which deals with adults. Why do we need a new category? Kristen Hoffman is often cited for the best explanation, as quoted in the text The Missing Genre by Callie Jackson. I'll let her words speak for themselves. The transition from child to adult doesn't happen overnight. Just ask anyone who has been, or is a parent to, a teenager. There's a period of time where adulthood feels like a new pair of shoes. The expectations of independence and self-sufficiency are still new, still being broken in. New adults are the people who have just begun to walk in those shoes. New adult fiction is about their blisters and aches. In other words, new adult is tailored for the unique experiences that come after our quote-unquote young adult years, but before our true adult years. Characters in new adult fiction no longer have the safety net or restrictions of their teenage years, constantly supported or hindered by their parents in their high school lives. Their actions are usually expressed with more liberty and freedom. They can do what they want, and their actions are theirs alone. This leaves protagonists more open to make mistakes, and also without any recourse but their own reactions or ingenuity to correct these mistakes. If you fail a class in high school, well, the protagonist gets grounded by their parents and they have to go to summer school. If you fail a class in university, that's it. You failed. There goes several $1,000s down the tube and there's nobody to save your butt this time. These stories also distinguish themselves from traditional adult fiction, which dominates the fictional landscape. New adult characters generally don't have the life experiences afforded to someone who has already reached their adult lives, who are already settled into a career or relationship, and who may have seen more of the world after living 30 to 40 years. Someone who has had to fight alcoholism in the past, or has dealt with a frustrating divorce, or who is frustrated by their corporate job has a completely different mindset from a young entrepreneurial go-getter who is looking for their first job in their dream career, or who is making mistakes that they don't even realize they're making.
When you go fishing, you can catch a lot of fish, or you can catch a big fish.
Essentially, New Adults is an extension of the same style of protagonist as one would typically find in a young adult novel, but catered to an older audience. Now that many people, myself included, are aging out of the young adult scene, we're finding it harder to relate to some of their situations, like first kisses or dealing with cliques in high school.
Get in, loser, we're going shopping!
You can see this transition of readers desiring more complex and mature storytelling in the young adult books that have recently become popular by trying to tackle more mature and morally gray situations, like The Hunger Games or Skinny by E.B. Kaslik. Or in books where characters have broken the norms of what one is accustomed to seeing in young adult writing, as seen in the progression of Harry Potter books. Using Potter as an example, near the beginning of the series, the writing was light and simple, talking about an 11-year-old entering a new world and a new school.
You're a wizard, Harry.
Whereas at the end of the series, you're dealing with a 17-year-old, someone who's much older and who has seen a lot more, dealing with an evil dictatorial killer and constant death and gloom surrounding him. That is a huge switch. Let's take an example out of our other big trend in literature, vampires. A more mature story for an adult audience would be Anne Rice's Interview with a Vampire, a story about adult vampires tailored to an adult audience. It's mature, dark, violent, and the characters are in their 30s. An obvious young adult version is Twilight. Yeah, you know this already.
Remember, dragons are great in several ways. They guard the magic cloak.
The violence was toned down, and the setting was transferred into a high school setting, with young characters that teens can relate to. The new adult equivalent that bridges the gap between these would be True Blood, or the Sookie Stackhouse novels by Charlaine Harris. The mood and tone is similar to Interview, but with a protagonist who is 25 and working a steady job. with a story largely involving adult romances, sex, and graphic violence that would generally be unacceptable for a young adult audience.
Y'all bitches just don't know what you're missing. I got 6 years on these hips.
Take these, baby. Peaches and cream.
I give you a little cocoa.
Now, because of the indie publishing scene and the ability to find new books via sites like Goodreads, the market of readers now exists for people who want to see the same type of storytelling they loved out of books like Divergent or The Fault in Our Stars, but with older characters, more complex situations, and more morally gray territory. And they've been voting with their dollars. Books like Hopeless by Colleen Hoover, Easy by Tamara Weber, Beautiful Disaster by Jamie McGuire, and Losing It by Cora McCormick are all leading the way into this new category since 2012. And although new adult slipped under the radar for many publishers for a while, they are quickly shifting gears and jumping on the bandwagon, giving authors more visibility for writing more unique stories that have never really had a space for celebration in readers' eyes, simply because a void existed in the marketplace, which is now being filled. There's a lot more to be said, because like any category of literature, it is complicated. But for today, we're gonna leave it here. See you later.